Liverpool versus everybody. Got two guests today. First is good friend Kyle. He's on join us first time. Good to see you, Kyle. How are you, man?
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's been a little while. I'm glad we finally able to do that. And then one of our usual friends here, Jamz. How are you, man?
Yeah, man. All good, bro. All good.
Good. So questions for both of you guys, but I'm gonna start with Kyle being the newer of the two guests. Through this period, I think the split with the fan base. I think that it seems to be outnumbered. That most of us are very much concerned with the lack of scoring. I guess scoring in bunches. And then the other side, I think, is fans who are very, very happy with the fact that we can win these kind of games when just as recent as last year we weren't able to. Our defense looks pretty world class, I would say. Talk to me about your opinions about it. Are you concerned with the lack of being able to kind of dominate teams like we did in periods of the season last season, or do you feel like let's take the positives and be happy that we're getting the points?
I mean, to be honest with you, I see both sides of it. Can't remember who I was listening to recently. I don't know. It may have been Redman TV or something, but they were talking about this time last season. This is when we really started clicking. Like the Mayor Board game was around this time, and y'all remember that like 7-0 win. I mean, I didn't I didn't even believe the scoreline when I read that, but so I can see maybe we just got to be patient with the guys. I mean, we got a solid front three. Their quality isn't lacking. Maybe they're just not in form. Maybe they're a little tired. So, but I could see that side of it. I can also see the side. I mean, I'm happy with a 1-0 win any day of the week. You know what I mean? Regardless of how we got there. I think it was a good game. I think our ability to sit back once we get a goal over the past, I mean, really just this season, over the past like 7 games or something, and get the 3 points, whereas a few years ago, maybe even last year, there were times we played like a West Brom or bottom 3 side, and we really just struggled, and we would either tie it up or we'd let in a late goal. I mean, I think we're getting better at that. So both sides of the argument are fair, but that's how I see it.
Okay, yeah, fair points. Jams, yourself?
Um, First of all, I'm happy because if you had said to me at the beginning of the season, would you take whatever we've got? I think it's like 28 points or whatever out of 30. I would have took it. We are doing what we haven't been able to do for years, which is win 1-0. My concern is I do think our luck will eventually run out if our top front three don't click. Do you think maybe we got a little bit lucky in the last game? They started to have quite a few chances. And the last few games have looked a bit. Man City obviously missing a penalty late on, and then Chelsea Sturridge goal last minute and stuff. And so yeah, I'm hoping everything seems to click. I think we've obviously got Red Star, but Cardiff. So yeah, that's where I am really. I'm 50-50 with things at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Like both of your points, and I think that's naturally where I am. I think I'm more so on the side of just being happy that we can kind of lean on our defense. I like what Jam said about riding the luck. I feel like if we can ride it for a few more weeks, I'm happy with it. But there are some moments in games where you think it'd be nice to kind of just convincingly, put a team away. Thankfully, we were playing against a team who, all due respect, they didn't really show much going forward. They haven't showed a lot all season as far as scoring goals. So that fell in our favor. Obviously, if it was a better team, I think naturally our kind of levels would have risen. But listen, we got the win, another clean sheet, and I think we're doing pretty well up there with City as far as staying up with them.
Yeah.
So I want to get into a couple of players to talk about, and one is Gomez. I think we've talked about him a lot, but I think there's so much more to talk about, and there's also so much just more growth that we can see in him. The idea that he can come in and pretty much at this point seems like he can play wherever he wants to play at. Wherever Klopp wants him to play at, he can play in the back part of the pitch. But even maybe in the midfield, I've seen there's times when he's taken the ball from deep and just drove it through, and almost kind of reminded me of what we sometimes are missing, what we say we're missing as far as a midfielder, kind of driving the ball through the field and things of that nature. Do you think we can expect to see a lot more of Gomez at fullback, or do you think he'll be back at the center back at some point, and we'll see Trent at the right back? Kyle.
I think Klopp's trying to mold him into an overall defender, and I think how you do that is you put him both at center back and right back. So long term, I really see him as a center back. So I think because we got Klein and Trent over at right back, he's kind of just putting him in there to get game time. I don't know why he's not playing Klein. Maybe he's fallen out of favor, but I would think Klein's be ready. Maybe it's a fitness thing or not, but man, I'm a believer. I mean, ever since we got Gomez, you remember Rodgers played him at left back like when he first bought him, and I was like, all right, I thought this guy was a right back coming in, but he was young. He was like 18, but he's really matured. And I know that comment about his like beach muscles or whatever, that dude was jacked when he first came in. And I mean, he's kind of slimmed down. So I think that's really helped him. And like I said, I really think long term, he can be a good first string option, maybe rotation player in the next few years. And we'll see down the line.
Yeah, jamz.
Yeah, I agree. Personally, I'd have Klein playing if Trent is out with some issues, or at that age you are inconsistent. So I would rather Klein playing because I don't like Lovren. And I look at Gomez and Van Dijk and I see a wonderful relationship on the pitch, and it looks like off the pitch, and they both play well with each other, both quick and strong. And I think Gomez is probably the best defender in the world, in England, to learn from. So I'd like Gomez to stay at centre back because I hate Lovren, but at the moment, Lovren's come in. We haven't conceded, so if Trent's got a back issue or whatever, then so be it, I guess. But long term, I expect Trent to go on and become one of the best right backs in the world, and Gomez and Van Dijk to carry on doing wonderfully. So yeah, I'd rather them to get back into centre back positions.
Yeah, Gomez has just been amazing, man, and I agree with a lot of both of you guys said. It almost feels like it might be the end for Klein, because I don't really know why he wouldn't have slotted in there. But again, situations happen. I just got to put my trust in Klopp. I feel like he's with the team every day. He would know something we don't know, but it does seem to be a bit odd to have Klein hanging around but not coming in. It could be a number of reasons why that is, but it's a bit strange. Shaqiri, is it time that we see him a bit more somehow? Klopp needs to find a way to integrate him into the lineup. Do you think what we've been seeing of him is enough? James, talk to me.
Yeah, I think obviously losing Coutinho and then losing Ox, as good as Henderson, Milner, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, and obviously I do really rate Keita, but being injured and stuff, Shaqiri's the one midfielder that looks like he can grab a game by the scruff of the neck. He can bring the ball forward. He can beat a man. He can shoot from distance. He can take a set piece. He is an attacking midfielder or a winger by trait. So personally, I sometimes think when you play Hendo, Wijnaldum, and Milner, they all so similar, especially Milner and Hendo, and they would probably rather pass backwards or sideways than drop a shoulder and beat a man and then go forward, which Coutinho and Ox did so well. So yeah, personally, I think that might be what the strikers are missing at the moment. Maybe some attacking-minded midfielder. And you look at Salah's goal on the weekend, built by what you said, Gomez going forward, and then Shaqiri kind of having that vision. I can't help but feel like would Hendo have been able to pick that pass out? Maybe not. Maybe would have gone for another option. So yeah, I'd rather Shaqiri over Lallana anyway. So to be honest, I don't think we're sport for choice in attacking midfielders. So yeah, I would like Shaqiri, and of course, dead ball situation. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, that's what kind of I spoke about it on the channel after the game and the day after. It was a little disappointed not to see him more on corners. That really was strange to me. I think when you have Shaqiri in the game, I think that's one of the other things that are kind of just in my mind are just like a no-brainer that he should be taking the set pieces. But for some reason we tend to go with Milner and Salah. I think Shaqiri did take at least one, if not a couple. So. But yeah, from dead balls, whether it be outside the box, corners, I like to see more of Shaqiri on those. Kyle? Shaqiri?
Yeah, man, just real quick before I get into my point, I think me with Shaq on corners, I really think that it's just a size thing. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But I think Klopp wants more size in the box. But I agree with what both of you said, specifically with like Shaqiri. When we lost Ox and Coutinho, we lost that creative ability in midfield. And I mean, I miss Ox more than anybody, don't get me wrong, but I think Shaqiri, being that he's left-footed, but he has the ability to use the right foot, he's creative with the pass, and he can see long and short. I think maybe he needs a little more time, maybe one more start before we start saying, hey, he's a staple in this side. I think, like what you said, would Henderson have made that pass? Probably not. Henderson's more of a long ball kind of guy, switching the play, but I don't know. I mean, I think if you put Shaqiri and Wijnaldum and then Henderson, I'm not hating that midfield at all. You know what I mean? I mean, that in my opinion, you could switch Hendo for Milner or Wijnaldum for Milner, you know, whatever, and I'm still happy with it. I mean, I think he possesses enough creative ability to really give the front three what they need, as we saw this past game.
Yeah, I think Janice mentioned Lallana in there. We're talking about Shaqiri. While we're on that, when the lineups came out, were any of you guys slightly worried, or do you think, you know, this is enough to beat this team? Kyle?
I wasn't worried. I mean, it was different. I knew that Klopp had to rotate the side eventually, right? And I think he wants to do it before the Champions League game. So, and given that it was Huddersfield. But, I mean, I talked about this a little bit on my podcast, but I remember Lallana being like a staple in like 2 seasons ago, or maybe, 2 seasons ago when Lallana was the man. I mean, he was always in the side. So, for me, it's more of a thing of fitness. Like, you remember he came off early. So, for me, I wasn't too worried about that. Not seeing Mane, I'm not used to not seeing Mane, because I think Mane brings something that none of the other front three bring. I mean, just like the speed, he's the quickest guy I've ever seen. He's the most agile, like, forward I think we have in the Premier League, aside from Hazard, maybe, you know. So I don't know. I wasn't worried. I think 1-0 does it justice, though, as far as the lineup goes.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, James.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything you said about Mane. It's hard to not give Sturridge a start. The form that he's been in, you know, coming on and scoring goals. But yes, I wasn't worried or anything. Salah, I'm hoping. I really wanted Salah to get a goal. I feel like he gets one goal and now maybe he'll kick on now, because he seems to be doing a lot of the right stuff, getting in the right position, beating the player, and then he just puts it wide or drags his shot or picks the wrong point. So it just seems like it's just the final things missing, and maybe it'll come back, especially with a team that we've got on Wednesday. Yeah, I went, but yeah, it was okay. I was interested in seeing Lallana back because, like you said, there was a time when I really liked Lallana. I remember Klopp said he was the king of the press, and you know, he was just one of our main players. And I'm happy to see him back into the team. And I think while Christmas comes, we're gonna have a busy schedule. Lallana might have a say. And look at the way Sturridge has turned his career around. You never know. Lallana might do the same. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I'm worried about with Lallana is his age. I mean, he's 30, I think, right? I mean, he's still good though. Look at Milner. I mean, shit. Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
No, it's okay. I mean, I think I don't think Lallana was awful yesterday. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to be spectacular, but I think he did some good things on the pitch while he was on there. You could tell he couldn't last the whole game. I don't know if he caught up cramps or something like that, but he told Klopp he needed to come off at some point. But for being out as long as he was out, again, I didn't expect, you know, amazing levels from him, but I think he did some important things in the pitch while he was playing. And so if we can get some of that, maybe turned up a bit of a notch, I think just to make up the bodies on the team, I think it can't be the worst thing if we can keep him fit to have Lallana on the team. Listen, it's a big game coming up in the Champions League, man. Just segueing here. And it always looked like it was going to be between Napoli, PSG, and us. And we talk about goal difference in the Premier League, but you know, in the Champions League group, it can start to turn up a notch as far as goal difference. So, you know, PSG punished this Belgrade team. The same team drew with Napoli. Obviously, we beat PSG and lost to Napoli. It looks like Belgrade have got a lot of issues going on, man. I don't even know if their players or their fans will be able to come to the game. They got some issues with betting on games or whatever, so they got their own set of issues. It looks like, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, it looks like they'll play a low block. So yet again, it'll be another challenge for us and another team that will look to frustrate us for the majority of the game. Who do you guys see, just off the top of your head, players that you want to see, and then give me who you think Klopp will go with? We'll go with Jam first.
I think Klopp will go with Firmino. I think Sturridge starting. I think he'll probably start Firmino. I'm not too sure on Mane. He broke a finger, but as far as I'm concerned, you can play now with a cast. But yeah, I'd like to see him. Shaqiri. Did Shaqiri come off in the last game?
I can't remember. Did he? I don't think so.
No, okay. But
who did Firmino come on for?
Was it Sturridge?
No. Sturridge stayed on. That's a good question, actually. Who came on for Lallana, though?
I'll check right now.
Was that Genie?
I know Genie came on for Hendo.
Oh,
Yeah.
Genie came on for Hendo. Then Firmino must have come on for Lallana.
Yeah. But wasn't there a third sub or no?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway.
So I've got it here. Lallana came off, Hendo came off, and Milner came off. And on came Fabinho, Wiggy, and
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah. So yeah, I think Firmino will go back in now, 100%. I do believe Salah will start because we lost our last game as well. This is quite a big game now. Our last Champions League game. I think Lallana will drop out. I'm looking forward to seeing Shaqiri. Yeah, really, Shaqiri's the main one. Like you said, I want to see Mane back into the team.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he's back. I want to see Mane back. And Trent, I don't get what's going on with Trent. I'd like to see Trent back in now because he barely played for England as well. So he's had a good 2-3 weeks off now.
Yeah, that is strange, man. I really can't put my finger on that. There hasn't been any word of any knocks or anything like that. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think Lovren's done too many things to not warrant Klopp to maybe keep going with him for a while. I don't know. I mean, it does seem like every now and then. I mean, look, we know what Lovren is, right? And he has some really great moments, but he has some moments where he loses his mind for a second. So we know he's capable of doing that, whether it be too close of a touch in a player in our box or something like that. But I mean, he's been playing well the 2 starts he's gotten. So I don't know, it's really strange. It's really strange. Does Matip feature? Does Robertson need a rest? Do you guys think?
I don't like Moreno.
I know the option is Alberto Moreno, but I mean, at some point, you got to get a rest, right? At some point.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Could we? I'm trying to think back to last year, and if we went with a not 100% side in any of the group stage games, and I feel like we always prioritize. So I don't know. I mean, I think Robertson stays on. I don't think Moreno will play in another game, to be honest with you. I mean, every time that man gets in, he gets embarrassed by somebody, whether it's just a Meg or something. He doesn't necessarily do bad. He just maybe embarrass himself. But yeah, I think we'll see Firmino again, obviously. I think Mane, to be honest, I don't know how his recovery's going. I think I agree. You can play with some sort of soft cast, but I think it's more of a safety hazard. So I feel like he may sit again. And if that's the case, Salah will play over probably. And then we'll see Shaqiri. I don't know if we'll see Shaqiri in the front 3, though. I think he'll stay in midfield. You all agree with that? Yeah. So then trying to think who we would have out on the wing. I don't know. Maybe Shaqiri stays in midfield and then Lallana plays again. I don't think he plays Lallana again, though, because Lallana was cramping up. So
I think maybe off the bench, but I can't see him.
Maybe off the bench.
Yeah, true. It'll be interesting to see where he puts Shaqiri. But
I think it's hard to really say. It looks like Shaqiri's probably his best position is the 10. But even in the Huddersfield game, you saw him all over the pitch, man. He was getting the ball as deep as where a fullback might be, in the middle of the park, up top. So I just think he's one of those guys who can pop in and pop out wherever Klopp sees fit for him to go. I personally want to see Fabinho. He came on and made a cameo against Huddersfield. Again, nothing incredible, but showed that some of the things that he is capable of doing. And so I'm not one of those fans who are overly I shouldn't say I am excited to see him play, but I'm not one of those guys who feel like, oh, yet again, Fabinho's not in the team. Because I feel like even with that guy out, even with Naby missing some games, we're still doing what we need to do to finish these games off. So I feel like when he's ready, when Klopp feels he's ready, when the squad, the team feels he's ready, then he'll get in. But this is a game where I feel like at home against a side that is going to sit back. If we have a creative guy like Shaqiri in the team, maybe Genie doing some work in that 8 role, I think it'd be good to get Fab in a game like that. The pace is a bit slower than it is in the Premier League. That might suit him a bit more just to get comfortable starting with the first 11. So Fab is a guy that I'm looking to hopefully see. But again, the front 3 they've got to keep playing. I think. I mean, even though they haven't necessarily been at their best as they were at some parts in last season. I mean, someone reminded me here that we have more goals this season than we did last season around this time, which is a shock to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But so it's not really much to really complain about at the end of the day. And the better thing this season is that we're winning these games. So at the end of the day, I think we're in a good place. But I think we do need to see that front 3 still going at it.
Yeah, and they got to get it firing in the Champions League first and foremost. I mean, I think we'll be fine. Honestly, I mean, because I think didn't Grujic come from this team or whatever? I think we got
Yeah.
Grujic from
I think he
Belgrade.
did. I think he
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
so
Somewhere around.
I would love to have Grujic here as even an option to just go in there and just tear up Belgrade. But obviously he's over at Berlin. But it'll be interesting to see. I think we'll be fine. I think, like you said, with Shaqiri in there or whoever he chooses, and the front three have to keep clicking. If they just start clicking again, this is the perfect game to do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you said, their fan base is in shambles or something like that. I mean, that definitely affects a team's mentality going into a game. So
Yeah, I mean, you go into a away ground and none of your fans are going to be there. I mean,
yeah, I know, yeah.
that should be an issue for them. Hopefully, there's a shout here in the comment section. Someone says, we need to rest Virgil van Dijk. Any of you agree with that?
Nah. Not yet.
Nah,
Is that no
I would never rest that man. Never rest him.
Yeah, I hear you guys. I mean, I to a degree, I know where you're coming from, and I partially agree. I don't know how severe this rib thing is. I don't know how many more shots he can take before games that are going to really, obviously he looks fine, but over the course of the season, obviously he'll get a rest at some point. Maybe not in this game though. Maybe not.
It's a good point, really. If you're gonna rest him, honestly, you're looking at our fixtures now. We've got Red Star, Red Star, Bodo, whatever, but we've also then got Cardiff. If you're gonna rest him, it does make sense for one of these games because then we've got Arsenal, who obviously look like they're in good form. Then you've got an away game in Champions League. So yeah, if you're gonna rest him, probably makes sense to rest him. But because we've lost to Napoli, can you imagine if we were to I don't doubt it, if we were to lose on Wednesday or even draw, all of a sudden, the Champions League groups will look a bit more difficult because going away there won't be as easy, and then you've got PSG away.
Yeah.
And obviously Napoli at home. So we can't, because of the Napoli mess up, we can't afford to take this game lightly. It's almost done some of the hard work from PSG. So when do you rest Virgil? That's the problem. Maybe Cardiff, because they are probably one of the easiest teams in the league at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. If you look at like Cardiff and some of the other teams, I think we play Fulham within the next month. So Fulham are doing terrible. So I wouldn't mind resting Virgil in that game. But but you're right. I mean, we really put ourselves in a hole with that Napoli loss. I mean, imagine if Klopp even decided to rest Virgil and we lost. That would just be horrible. So he can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't know how you guys feel. I actually know. If you had to pick, are you leaning more to putting all the eggs in the Champions League or the league? I think most of us say the league, right?
League.
Yeah, league at this point.
And so for me, I just feel like, again, I don't want to disrespect the opponents, but I mean, Red Star should be 6 points, guys. It should be 6 points.
Yeah,
and
you're right. You're right. Even if we rested, like even if we did play Moreno and all that, we still should win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I feel like, I don't know. I don't really want to rest him in the league games, even if it is a Cardiff City or a Fulham back-to-back who just played each other and they both look abysmal. Let's be honest. So, I mean, I think putting in Matip with Gomez, Matip with Lovren, I mean, hell, Matip with Fabinho back there, it should be enough to beat these teams. It should be. You know what I mean? Again, should is the key word. So, I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to rest them. I prefer resting them in a Champions League game against this back-to-back and let PSG and Napoli beat each other up and see what comes out at the end. So I'm not too concerned with our Champions League form and what we'll do. I'm more so just worried about doing what we got to do to keep this run going in the league, because we know City are going to keep smashing teams. Every week they're going to smash teams. I mean, that's just going to happen. Now they play Spurs, I think, Monday. And that should be a good game, but honestly, I got City smashing them too, to be honest. So at the end of the day, we got to worry about ourselves. We see what the gap is as far as goal difference. What do you guys think? Kyle, coming to you. Do you think it's a matter of us sooner than later, starting to put our own smackings in to catch up with City with the goal difference? Or do you think City can help us out by losing at some point or getting maybe on a run of losses? I mean, I can't see that, but what do you think?
I think if we approach that situation as a numbers game, like who can score more goals, I think that's the wrong approach. I really think City are just, like you said, they're going to smash teams week in, week out. And maybe we're not necessarily, that kind of comes in waves for us. Like we'll go through periods where we'll beat teams like 4-0, 5-0, 3-0, excuse me. But I think City, we shouldn't worry about the goal difference in my opinion. Just hope they lose them on the way to the top, and then just we can play the best we can play. I mean, that's just my opinion with it.
Yeah. James?
Yeah, it's hard really, because I think Man City are one of the greatest Premier League sides I've witnessed, and the depth that they have, and they didn't have Raheem Sterling on the weekend. They just brought De Bruyne back, and not only not only they're so good attacking, because so are we, but they're also so good defending wise, 5-0s, and they do it so effortless, and it's just a joke. They get goals from all over the place. Jesus isn't scoring at the moment. Mahrez has started chipping in now. Bernardo Silva, David Silva. So I think my hope is that eventually they slow down, they tire out, they start to prioritize Europe maybe, come the quarterfinals and semi-finals. If they get that far and they're going to the new camp or to Bernabeu or whatever, maybe that'll be our chance to pounce if we're not in Europe. We saw them draw against Wolves a few weeks ago, so they drew to us as well. So we shouldn't be scared of them. We'll see what happens. Tottenham could be difficult. I'd love Tottenham to win 1-0 or something, because I think Tottenham will slow down, and they already have proven that. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think if they were to lose Aguero, which they always seem to do for a few weeks every year, that could be the one issue with them, because he is the main man, and I don't think Jesus is ready to come in and save them the way Aguero. Sometimes Aguero scores the first goal and then they go on and get 3, 4, 5. So yeah, and like Aguero's their penalty taker as well, stuff like that. So hopefully they can lose Aguero, but we shouldn't hope on anything. Let's just do our thing and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, City, it just seems like they have so many weapons all over the pitch that, I think a lot of people may have thought they would drop a bit once De Bruyne went out. And I know he's not as much of a goal threat as Aguero, but it just goes to prove that they have just as good, if not better, guys coming off the bench. You know what I mean? So they got a tough squad, but like you said, we got to really focus on us. And as long as we're winning games, getting 3 points, then that's pretty much it. Kyle, give me a score prediction for the Red Star game, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be optimistic here, but I'm thinking 4-0.
Wow. Okay. Nice. James?
Same. I was thinking 4-0.
Okay. All right. I'd love to join in on that. I'm gonna say 2-0. I'm gonna say it's gonna be tight. There'll be a team that tries to frustrate us a lot. Hopefully we'll get it. I think set pieces could be really, really key, not only in this game, but just in the season in general, especially during this period where, because here's the thing. We've been looking really good as far as passages of play and getting into the final third, but once we get to the final third is where things just go wrong. And so that's why I'm not really concerned with, and the same with Salah. He's getting a lot of flack, but his movement off the ball, and he's always in the right place at the right time. So I'm not concerned with that. I'm just concerned with right now just the final touches. And so I think it's going to be another game where, especially in a game that most people think we're going to demolish, because think about the game leading up to Huddersfield. Everyone was saying 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, whatever.
Yeah.
And they meant it. It wasn't a joke. They really thought we were going to smack that team. We didn't do it. Red Star is a different competition. It's a different team, a team that none of us really are that familiar with. So, yeah, I think 2-0 is safe, and hopefully we can get over the line and then jump back to the Premier League and get ready for, was it Cardiff City? Is that away?
It's at home.
Cardiff City's at home?
Yep. And then we got Arsenal away the following Saturday.
Okay.
That's always a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way they look today, that should be an interesting one.
Yes, definitely.
One, because Arsenal fans, they're going to keep talking until they break that losing or winning streak.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. That's the Mondays Talking Reds. Kyle, man, thanks for coming on. Hopefully get you on some more.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
James. Oh, let me just shout it out too. Nothing But Reds podcast. Please check his channel out. I'm sure he'll be posting some stuff coming up soon. I love the idea of you putting Oh, I like the fact that you put the stats on there too, man. That's
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks, dude.
nice added crunch there. But let's hope the Reds can handle their business on Wednesday, and
Yeah.
we'll see you guys sooner than later.
Yeah, man. Safe.
All right, take